Hello, folks. Good evening again. Just to reintroduce myself, I'm Haran, part of Solutions Architect team with Elastic, managing all cybersecurity use cases as a security specialist for APAC and Japan. So we call it as APJ. Nice to meet you. So these days, everything is moving into virtual. I mean, the whole world is completely moving into virtual these days. Nice to meet you. Hopefully, expecting to meet you all soon again in another meetup where we can have more advanced level of security analytics topic, maybe a specific to threat hunting or something. Um, I'll keep this session very, very high level so that we might have folks who are already into security space and also we might have some audience who are new to security or new to SIM, SIEM, which we call it as. So I'll keep it very introductory and high level. So that's what we mention it as 101. It's a getting kickstarted type of discussion. And also, as Nick mentioned, we'll have a Q&A session at the end. So please feel free to post your questions in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your questions directly during the Q&A session. In between, if you have any questions or any clarifications needed during the course of presentation, we have our developer advocate, Aravind, who you might be very much familiar with. He's so much famous across India as well as ASEAN community teams. He would be happy to answer all your queries. Let's get started. Okay, security, information, and event management. I'll just set an agenda for today. So we'll have like as I said before, we'll have a very, very high level overview on what is SIM. So SIEM, abbreviated to Security, Information, and Event Management. What and why, the evolution of SIM, and importantly, the SIM workflow. So I'll also talk about how does the SIM workflow, the data workflow, once you have a raw data, how people wanted the data to travel along your SIM to your external final alert things, right? So I'll talk about SIM workflow and then some important factors of having SIM, like common data schema, data enrichment, threat intelligence. So these days we are much talking about threat intelligence. Even recently we had some COVID-19 type of attacks, phishing as well as scam attacks. So everything is a threat intelligence, right? Everything is an intel for us. We will be collecting those threat intel and then processing, and we'll be using it for detecting our attacks. I'll also touch base on threat intelligence, and then uh, now we'll be having a better idea about what is SIM. I'll completely take it with Elastic Stack as a central platform. I'll give you a high level overview on how Elastic Stack can be used as a central platform, central security data platform, using all these things which we mentioned in the initial phase. And finally, we'll wrap up with a small SIM demo. Sounds good, right? Perfect. So what is SIM? Security, Information, and Event Management. So today you might hear this buzzword SIM, SOC, Security Operations Center, Security Analytics, or IOCs, Threat Intelligence, or these type of buzzwords, right? SIM evolved recently as an important factor in security market. So even today, any organization or any service provider who is providing security as their enterprise services is completely relying on SIM as their central data solution or a central service solution. I hope you folks would have been familiar with Gartner. So Gartner is the evaluation or a general enterprise body who used to evaluate or define various products in the security space. So Gartner has defined SIM as a event data, a solution that analyzes the event data in a real time. So that's exactly true. So SIM is nothing but a centralized platform where you would be ingesting or putting, storing, throwing all your data across your infrastructure into a centralized platform. Once you have a data in a centralized platform, that helps in early detection of targeted attacks, breaches, collecting, storing, investigating on your data, and finally, you can also have some reports, forensic analysis on your data. You can do much more on your infrastructure once you have everything collected, right? So that's what SIM is about: security, information, event management. Why SIM? So why you want to have everything as a centralized platform? That again talks about evolution of SIM. Initially, there are various reasons. You might be having a compliance requirement. Your auditor might be saying that you want to have everything in a centralized platform so that you meet your compliance checkboxes like ISO checkbox, PCI checkbox, or something like that. So that is one of the main reason a centralized platform was started. And then people also wanted to have like a long-term storage. For example, your device might have a peripheral storage. It's like a temporary storage, right? Once you want to have a long-term storage, you need somewhere to store all your data for more than 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, a year of data in archived way. That's one of the use cases within SIM. And then people started seeing various values when they have a lot of data in a centralized platform. Once they have a lot of data, they started seeing doing analytics on top of it. They started doing threat detections. They started doing metrics on top of it. They want to have like a business metrics or forecasting metrics. From security point of view, you can have machine learning. You can have detection, threat detection, proactive as well as reactive type of threat detection. So that is where SIM evolved into. So as I said before, SIM started as a compliance requirement. With my experience, I have seen SIM started as a compliance requirement. So to fulfill your auditor's need. Then as a centralized log management, people started storing for longer data. And then it evolved as a intelligent platform to ask more questions, visualize your metrics, do machine learnings on top of it, or do intrusion detection on your data which you have. That is what SIM++ is. And then once the security market became like an important factor in your organization, whether you be it as a service company or a production company or manufacturing company, you need to have your infrastructure secured. So that's how SIM as a centralized platform became the first layer of detection. And then people started providing it as a service. So for example, let's say you are a manufacturing company. You don't want to have a separate set of investment as well as separate set of team or your research R&D sitting on security, right? You want to focus on your production. You want to focus on your manufacturing, which is your bread and butter. In that case, you can outsource your security. That's how SIM as a service evolved. So when I talk about SIM as a service, it's a SOC as a service, SOC, Security Operations Center. So as a security service company, I collect all my clients' data in a centralized platform with a proper data encryption, data segregation, data management, and then I provide analytics on top of it as a service. So that's what SIM as a service evolved. In the future, what we are expecting or what it can evolve is SIM as a utility. Like everybody can include SIM as inside their product itself. For example, today we have a platform like Elastic that comes up with a SIM. We have various platforms. Even your internet service provider can come up with a centralized log solutions. For example, Geo can come up with a SIM. Who knows? Who knows what brings tomorrow, right? So anything can come up inside your ISP, internet service provider itself, or with any platform itself. So that's how SIM evolved. Okay, the important part of SIM workflow, SIEM workflow. So it's basically a data workflow inside a box of SIM. So consider SIM as a box where you will be having data collected inside. So you will be having various methods to put data inside that particular box. And then once you have the data, you cannot put data as such, right? Every data is in different way. The one which we are talking, Zoom data, right? You can collect Zoom data. It will be in a different way. You can collect your firewall data. You can collect even your IoT data, your micro oven, which is connected to internet. These days, you have IoT devices everywhere. Everywhere, data is everywhere. You can collect your phone data, your firewall, your security devices, anything. Everything is in different way. So you need to parse the data in a way that your platform understands, or in a unique parsing. So that is what parsing is about. Once you start data collection, you will do parsing. And then this data normalization and data aggregation are somewhat type of granularity or filtering kind of workflow or filtering kind of layer. So you can store the data after parsing assets. It's up to you. But people wanted to have like a normalization of data. They don't want to have all the data. They want to only have the required or interested data. So they need to normalize the data, or they want to group their data. That is what something called aggregation. They want to have like 10 alerts into a single alert. So that's data aggregation. They can do at the data level. And then once this data is aggregated, parsed and everything, it becomes an event. Event is something, but interesting thing happening in your data is called event. They will be having like event correlation on your data. And once you have like all these data parsed, normalized, aggregated and correlated, you can have various alertings on it or various analytics on it. For example, you can do machine learning alerting, you can have rules, you can have metrics, various type of things, alerting, reporting, and then storing it for a long time helps you in forensic investigation as well. So this is how a basic SIM workflow sits in. Sorry. It doesn't mean that every SIM has to follow all these workflow. It's like a high level overview of a data workflow inside a SIM. All right. So you have data everywhere, right? As I said before, you have data everywhere. So why do you need a common schema or a common format for your data? As I said before, every data is different. My host data, my Windows machine will provide data in a different way. My network device will provide a data in a different way, or my mobile device will provide a data in a different way. But for getting a desired result or a common platform, I need to have every data in a common format, right? That's what common schema is. So SIM solution provide these type of common schema while parsing the data. So that is one of the major use cases within SIM. So every SIM works in a different common formats. So people who are already familiar with SIM and security might know different vendors, namingly like ArcSight, Logarithm, Elastic, Splunk, and various things. Everybody has their own common schema format. Okay, so data collection, parsing in a common format, everything is fine. What can we do from security standpoint while storing the data or before storing the data? The important factor is, for having a security analytics on your data, why don't you enrich it? Why don't you level up your data? Your data is raw from your device. Why don't we level up it? So that's what this GeoIP enrichment, data enrichment, DNS enrichment, threat intelligence enrichment. So you can have various enrichments on top of data. Most of the SIM solutions provide this out of the box. So these type of enrichments are done while parsing the data and storing it in as a central platform. So this is one of the important things which you should know while talking about SIM. We are leveling up the data using data enrichment. Today we'll talk about one particular enrichment which is very important, is threat intelligence, threat intel enrichment. What is threat intelligence? It's nothing but indicators of compromise on your particular threat detection or a threat attacks. For example, Locky ransomware, Petya ransomware, any particular ransomware might have a particular set of IOCs. When I say IOCs, indicators of compromise, these are like IP address connecting to this particular ransomware, particular command and control servers, file hashes, DNS domains, TLS certificates, malicious TLS certificates. The IOCs are nothing but malicious bad actors particular to the particular threat detection. So that is what threat intelligence is. So you would be having threat intelligence ingested into your centralized platform or enriched with your data, so that if there is any matching with your threat intels, matching with your IOCs, you need to immediately know, or you need to immediately alert that in your environment, you have something matching to the known indicators of compromise, known IOCs, known threat bad actors. So that is one of the important use cases. People are adopting threat intel natively today inside their SIM solution. All right. Hope you had a better understanding or better overview of what is SIM, security information, and event management. What are the important factors, right? So I think that helped you a little bit about SIM solutions. I'll touch base on Elastic security, like what is Elastic SIM and how we can address security within Elastic as a SIM solution. So, and also, as I said before, we'll have a separate 5 or 10 minutes Q&A Meanwhile, if you have any questions, I could see there are some questions, put it in the chat box. Please do drop your questions then and there in the chat box. Our developer advocate Arvind would be happy to address that. Okay, coming back to Elastic, some people would have been very much aware of Elastic as a solution. So who are new to Elastic, I'll just give you an overview. Elastic is a platform. So it's like a complete stack of platforms. So we have various solutions like Beats, Logstash, Elasticsearch, Kibana. So everything we combine to a single stack or a single platform called Elastic Stack. That is what this Elastic technology is about. So we have our solutions segregated into 3 buckets. So Elastic Enterprise Search. Elasticsearch, you might be very much aware, right? The name suggests it's a search engine. You put all the data, you put so much amount of data inside a centralized platform like a search engine like Elasticsearch, and then do analytics on top of it. So being a very powerful search engine, so it has a Elastic Enterprise level search as a solution. For example, you might have a various enterprise level searching places like Google Drive, Microsoft OneDrive, or multiple things across your enterprise, right? Everything can be connected into a single search solution. So that's what this Elastic Enterprise Search is about. We do have various webinars, meetups on Elastic Enterprise Searches. Definitely give it a shot. And the next solution is Elastic Observability. Observability ties important hand with security, I would say. So basically, the observability is recently very much familiar. This term observability is recently very much familiar across your data solution areas. Observability is nothing but a triangle of logs, application performance monitoring, APM, and metrics. So these 3 forms a triangle called observability. So you can have like a logging, metrics, and application performance monitoring on your own applications or Java, Python, .NET, or any applications on your HTTP layers. These type of things helps you to address all the issues from the security standpoint of view, as well as the logging standpoint of view. And that we come up as a solution itself. We have like an APM solution inside Elastic itself, observability solution. We do have various webinars and meetups addressing observability. Give it a shot. Okay, coming to our important agenda of today is Elastic Security. So we recently focusing more on a solution called Elastic Security. So as a separate bucket. So Beats and Logstash inside the stack are the data ingestion layer. I was talking about data collection in my initial discussion, right? In Elastic, Beats and Logstash, you would be ingesting data inside Elasticsearch using Beats and Logstash. Elasticsearch, being heart of the stack, stores all the data in a common schema format. Today, we are not dealing with gigabytes of data. We are dealing with terabytes and petabytes of data, right? So Elasticsearch utilizes these type of handling of data explosion. So Elasticsearch by design, it is distributed and scalable in nature. So that helps in addressing data explosion and handling large amount of data, and then doing analytics on top of it, like finding needle in the haystack. And then finally, Kibana is the visualization layer in the stack. So once you ingest data using Beats and Logstash, it is stored in Elasticsearch, and then Kibana is a UI layer. So you would be visualizing as well as doing analytics on top of the data using Kibana. So I'll show you Kibana during the demo as well. And then you have various methods of deploying, like cloud-based deployment, on-prem, Kubernetes, all types of deployment on your Elasticsearch. So that's a separate discussion. Okay, coming back to our SIEM discussion. So Elastic Stack as a central platform. So this is what I was mentioning about. Put all the data in a centralized way. It can be from your security device. It can be from your network device, or it can be from your host machines like Linux, Windows, or any machines, network security, or network devices like routers, switches, or your cloud infrastructure like AWS, Azure, GCP, or any cloud infrastructures. All these can be put into a centralized platform like Elasticsearch using Beats and Logstash. So you can put directly from Beats to Logstash, or in between you can use Logstash. It's a flexible architectural way. A few months back, I wrote a brief blog on how unlocking your security data sources with Elastic Stack as a central platform. So I have also added this, and maybe Ning can share the deck with you, so you can have a try on it. Coming back to Elastic SIEM or Elastic Centralized Security Platform in the community way. So this is one of my favorite slides. Coming from a community side, I have been using Elastic Stack even before joining Elastic, right? So I have been developing various open source projects, various community projects, meeting community members. I met Aravind in one of the meetup as well. So there are various open source projects like SANS Institutes has developed a forensic project like Sofel, Sigma SIM Rules, Wazoo, open source HIDS, Security Onion, Rock NSM, threat hunting platform like Helk. There are various famous open source projects who are completely adopting Elastic Stack as their backend platform for security analytics and SIM solutions, and various orchestration platform like SOC Prime, Demisto, threat intelligence platform like MISP. So there were various community adoption within Elastic, with the Elastic as a security platform. Why? Because again, boiling down to the speed and scalability. So as I said, Elasticsearch was distributed and scalable in nature. So because of this, it was completely adopted in the security market. And then we came up with the Elastic common format as well as SIEM solution to enrich or to enhance their security use cases. So before we jumping into SIEM, we developed a common field format called Elastic Common Schema. So Elastic Common Schema is nothing but a common field format for all your data sources. It can be from any data source. We can map it into a common field format called Elastic Common Schema. It is an additional or optional type of field formatting. It is not mandatory. You can adopt Elastic Common Schema for a better analytical way for all your data sources. We kept this as an open source. So many people were adopting this. Many vendors are adopting it, as well as there were so much contribution to Elastic Common Schema in short period of time. For example, Palo Alto, firewall device like Palo Alto, Cisco ASA, Suricata, Wazoo, OS Query, Zeek IDS, file integrity monitoring, various things adopted within Elastic Common Schema, and we have various modules for these as well. Okay, so as we discussed threat intelligence as one of the important factor of a SIEM solution, right? Any SIEM solution, how it is addressed or implemented in the stack, in the Elastic Stack. So we do have various ingesting method like Logstash and Beats. So these ingesting methods can address data ingestion from your threat intelligence platforms like MISP or like any platform, like static file as well as dynamic type of threat intel platforms. You can automatically ingest data into Elasticsearch and then have a lookup in two ways. Like at ingestion time, you can have Logstash filter plugins to intelligently aggregate your network data with your threat intelligence data at the ingestion time itself. Or after post ingestion, you can create alerts using SIEM or using Watcher. Watcher is one of the alerting metrics within Elastic, and Elastic also has a SIEM UI. So once you have threat intelligence data inside Elastic Stack, you can have a post ingestion alert as well. So you can have various ways of addressing these threat intelligence detection. Okay, so before jumping into demo, I'll just talk about how SIEM evolved. So we were addressing various detection and hunting or enhancing the people who are already utilizing Elastic as a security platform. So we came up as a SIEM app, having like a host and network views on your infrastructures, host and network infrastructure. And then we created out of the box machine learning integration, machine learning analysis on top of your data. So we have like 90 plus out of the box static detection rules mapped with Mitre framework. So I think security folks would have been very much familiar with ATT-CK Mitre framework. So I'll just, for those who are new to Mitre framework is nothing but a widely adopted cybersecurity, globally adopted cybersecurity framework in the security space. So I think it's been in the market for more than 5 years. It's a non-profit organization who is providing all the mappings on enterprise level cyber attacks to a common framework, detection framework. So we are adopting Mitre framework on all our detection rules. So all these detection can be mapped with Mitre framework and like machine learning detection, static rule detection, and various things. So this is what I was talking about, combining detection strategies like anomaly detection, dynamic type of detection, where you would be having machine learning jobs integrated with SIM, and then static type of detection, where you would be creating manual rules or static rules uh, for detecting on your data that is getting stored in the Elasticsearch. So this is what combining two detection strategy in a single SIM solution. All right. Without further wasting of time, with the interest of time, we'll jump into a demo. Today's demo environment is nothing but a simple demo environment. I'm collecting all my data from my Windows machine and Linux machine using Beats and endpoint security as well. Elastic also has a endpoint security. So I'm collecting all my data from using Beats from my Linux and Windows and Linux machine. I'm using some open source tools like Sysmon inside my Windows machine for more analytical data. And my Beats has a Sysmon module to collect that as well. And I'm storing all these data directly into Elasticsearch, which is running in my Google Cloud. So as I said before, Elastic has a various deployment methods, cloud as a SaaS solution, on-prem, orchestration model, and various things. All my data transmission is protected using TLS. So this is my simple demo environment today. Okay. What happened? I think I jumped out of sharing. Yeah, I think you can see my screen now.
Yes, Haran.
Perfect. Yeah, so this is Elastic SIM. So you have various SIM solution out there in the market. Everything works more or less in the similar way. So the UI experience or the analytical experience might be differing. Each one has a pros and cons. So I would be very frank as a community member, each one definitely has a pros and cons on it. Coming back to Elastic SIM, so it has an overview tab telling about what are your signals coming from your rules, or even if you're apart from your inbuilt SIM rules, if you're having external alert like IDS, IPS, firewall, antivirus, any alerting solution that can also be automatically mapped inside your SIM using Elastic Common Schema, and you can start investigating on this using your Elastic SIM itself. For example, I have open source IDS called Wazoo, and Wazoo is giving me so much alerts on my lab environment. Suricata is another open source network IDS. Wazoo is a host IDS, and I have some in-game alert as well. So this tells me what are the modules I'm collecting. For example, inside my Linux environment, I'm doing file integrity monitoring, process flows, so user analysis. Inside my Winlog Beat, I'm collecting all my security events from my event channel and from a Sysmon. And in FileBeat, I'm collecting Suricata. Zeek is another open source network security monitoring tool. From PacketBeat, I'm collecting DNS flows and various things. This tells you what are the data you are collecting, and overview tab of your SIM. And then in the side, one of my important, my favorite part is that it gives you security news. So with 7.6, we came up with the security news, right? So this helps me to keep myself up to date. Any level of analyst who is working on Elastic SIM to keep himself up to date on what is new happening within Elastic security space. For example, even today when I jumped into my SIM, this blog is very new to me. I'm not aware of this blog within Elastic. So this talks about Mitre attack using Sysmon tool. Sysmon is an open source Microsoft tool for very deep level, host level analytics. So we are having like Mitre attack on Sysmon tool mapped with SIM signals itself. So this is something as an analyst, I can read, I can implement in my environment. So I can keep myself up to date with new things coming up within Elastic security, new blogs, new features, new releases, and various things, right? This security news is one of the cool things and one of my favorite feature as well. Okay, so coming back to these tabs, as I said before, we have like a pre-built host and network tab talking about your host level postures, various authentication details, uncommon processes happening in your environment. And if there is any machine learning integration, it is also going to give you host level anomalies detected using your machine learning jobs. uh, uh, out of the box authentication metrics, like when was the last failure, why was the last failure. It's just an overview of your host level security posture on your infrastructure. Similarly, you have network level tabs to provide network posture on your infrastructure from security point of view. So talking about it starts with a map integration. So it gives you a geospatial analysis on your network data. For example, like multiple single source connecting to multiple IPs. I can have like an analytical on top of it. So this is like a geospatial analysis on your network data, and then it gives you metrics. I think I got hang. All right. So it gives you yeah, I'm fine now. So it gives you after map, it gives you some metrics talking about how many network events I'm collecting, DNS data, TLS handshake, and then it gives you a top talkers. So for last 3 days, these are my top source IPs, top destination IPs. I can start investigating from this. Top geo countries, top DNS data, HTTP. You can integrate your application performance monitoring inside your SIM if you're already very much interested in your application level layers. So very cool. So these pre-built hosted network tabs are good. And this timeline is where any level of analyst will be starting to proactively hunt or investigate on their large data set. For example, let me quickly, just with the click of a drag and drop, just with the click and the drag and drop, you can start rendering all your data in the timely ordered events. So it is going to show you all your data in a timely ordered events from all data sources. You can have multiple data sources because everything is an elastic common schema. Apart from this drag and drop, you can increase your investigation. For example, this is my source IP. Maybe I'm interested only in this particular destination IP, not all the destination IP. So I can put it in AND condition, or I can put it in OR condition, something like that, right? So it's a cool, right? So you can increase your investigation with the drag and drop itself. So this is the exact geo data enrichment I was talking about. See, just by hovering over an IP, I'm having more details about this particular IP. This is coming from my Singapore. This is the geospatial enrichment, data enrichment. So this is exactly I was talking about data enrichment in your SIM solution. Every SIM solutions, or while you are doing data collection, you need to have data enrichment like threat intelligence enrichment or geo enrichment, DNS, IP enrichment, something like that. That gives any level of analyst to easily start his investigation rather than having like a lookup every time once he's analyzing. Apart from this drag and drop, you have the power of a search. Elasticsearch being a search engine, it has like a KQL, Kibana query language that helps you in auto completion and auto suggestion. So once you start typing, it will automatically narrow down your searches. So it is going to narrow down my SIN with auto completion, and auto suggestions helps me to ask more questions to the platform. All right. So to give you a complete SOC workflow or an investigation workflow, you can also add some notes to your investigation. For example, I find something particularly, so you have more details on this particular event. If you expand it, you have more details on this event. So if I want to add some investigation notes to this particular event, I can add it here. So I can add, it supports Markdown language. So you can add link, GIF or anything that supports Markdown language, right? So people who are very much familiar with GitHub, GitHub wholly supports Markdown language. So it's very famous language. So you can use Markdown for adding your own links and other things. So you can add notes to your event level, or you can add notes to this whole investigation level. For example, I can add a timeline, name, description, and then I can add notes to this, right? So everything is persistent. So if I go back to my timeline tab, all my timelines are persistent. So for example, if I click on this timeline which we created a couple of seconds ago, it is going to completely give me, it is going to take me to the same timestamp which I investigated for, like last 3 days or last 24 hours, whichever I investigated. You can come back anytime, increase your investigation, pass it to the next member, pass it to the next team, or have more analysis on top of it with all the nodes being persistent, So that's one of the analytical or SOC investigation view. Everything was cool with the host and network view, timeline, hunting, and various things. I was always talking about detection, right? The combining two detection strategies. That is what this detection is about. So I was talking about machine learning anomaly detection, alertings. So you can have uh, out of the box machine learning jobs shipped with Elastic SIM. Apart from that, you can also create your own jobs using Elastic's machine learning and integrate it with the SIM. So you can utilize this type of dynamic detection, or you can utilize static detection. Every detection is triggered into a signal. So you can have like static rules created. For example, with the new release of 7. Today till date, you have like more than 100 plus out of the box rules. Like for example, this is one of the rule talking about suspicious process spawning from a script interpreter. So it is using some common, very sophisticated type of advanced type of attacks that can happen in your environment. And we have a pre-built rule for it coming from your Windows machines. Everything is mapped with cybersecurity framework like Mightier with severity and risk scores adopted from Mightier. So any level of analyst who is working on it will understand what this rule is, what Mightier is telling, what a cybersecurity global framework is telling. It's telling about defense evasion. If you click on it, it's going to give you detail about what is defense evasion, what to do, how to interpret or how to understand defense evasion. Apart from this pre-built rule, you can also create your own rule mapped with Mightier framework. You can create your own rule either from your machine learning jobs or machine learning data, or your own custom queries. So you can create a rule, map it with Mightier frameworks, schedule it, and also you can take some responsive actions. For example, you can have email notification integrated with third-party solutions, integrated with Slack and various things. So I just, though it's a SIM 101, I just want to give you a high level overview on what Elastic SIM provides or what Elastic comes as a SIM solution. So I'll just stop it here. I think I've been talking for like 40 minutes or so. Before we stop for Q&A, I just want to have a message on community, where we do have Elastic community channel for security, especially for security. Please do join it. Me, Aravind, and many of our solutions lead and security architects will be there to help you to answer your queries or to get started anything from your community perspective. So please do join Elastic community on Slack. Okay, I'm just stopping my talks here. So I have been talking for a long time. I'll just open for Q&A, and I'll also take questions from chat as well. Thank you.
So thanks, Haran. I hope I'm audible to you, right?
Yeah. Yes. Perfect.
So there are some questions I'll repeat again so that they could also hear from you. I did write some of them, but folks, please write questions as well. So we'll take questions now. Quickly jumping on, because we have we want to do more questions as well. So basically, like, there is one question from Danikon where is asking about how does a static rule detection work in Elastic SIM, whether it is stream processing or batch processing.
Okay, great question. So static rule is nothing but a query. So if you're creating a dashboard, you are giving a query, and it is querying on your data inside your Elasticsearch, and it is giving you a visualization. Similarly, static rule, you are defining a query and then a schedule. Let's say you are scheduling like every 12 hours, every 10 minutes. In that scheduled interval of time, let's say every 10 minutes, it is going to check the query on your Elasticsearch data given on a particular queried condition and queried index. And if it is matches, it is going to trigger a signal. So that is how static rule works.
Okay. So
that gives you a clear idea. Yeah.
So there is one more question regarding we are facing two problems, and one is about event correlation, and another is watch list. So have Elastic thought about it or solved in some other way, right? How did Elastic solve about how do you can create watch lists or lookup tables, something of that sort, or how do you how do you kind of like do event correlation in Elastic security solution?
Great questions. So definitely, it's kind of an advanced question. I'm so happy to get that in a one-on-one meetup actually. So yes, event correlation is a very important feature within SIM solution. Any SIM solution or any advanced type of alertings or searching. So we are addressing it in different way. So today you can have cross correlation on your data sets, data sets like multiple indexes. You can search across your timeline, search across your rules, queries. And we are also addressing advanced level of correlation and event correlation using a language called EQL, Event Query Language. It is again, we kept it as an open source. So I will put the link in the chat as well. So it's an EQL. So we are, it's in the adoption phase. So we are going to completely adopt this EQL inside our Elastic Stack, where you can have more advanced correlation, event correlation within Elasticsearch itself. Similarly, what you do today in Kibana using Lucene Search or KQL, right? You will be having EQL as well. So that is coming. Today, you can address it by multi-index cross-correlation searches. So Watcher has chain of inputs. SIM has multi-index searches inside their rule. So these type of things can address correlation to certain extent. EQL will address more advanced type of event correlation.
So Haran, regarding watch list, so can we edit the watch list, and how do you make watch lists in our scene?
Okay, so we are also heading there inside a SIM. We will be heading with a feature called whitelisting, where you can create some list of IPs, hashes, or anything that can be matched or unmatched within your rule, right? So these type of listing, static listing, will be available soon in the couple of releases. Today, watch list can be addressed using our native alerting solutions called Watcher. So with Watcher, you can create some advanced level of JSON alerting. You will be writing JSON. Definitely, to be frank, that you need some JSON thing, but that is not hard to write. So you can create like a session list or a watch list inside your Watcher.
So just to add, folks, like there are a lot of integrations regarding alerting that's going to come, which is very, very soon. And that would solve a lot of problems with respect to querying, with respect to usability or user experience point of view. Like how do you create, just by adding a search query, you could probably do a lot of integrations. But also like, I would like to definitely point out, like creating alerts is not the end. Sometimes alerts would simply create a lot of noise itself. Like there are so many alerts, so you need to make valuable insight from the intel from the alert that is coming in. So we also looked about it, and we are trying to integrate with our machine learning solution, which is anomaly detection. So we already have, I believe, 21 jobs for different security attack related scenarios. I believe, Haran, correct me if I'm wrong. So that is also that's already there, and we are going to increase more into that area as well from the alerting point of view as well. So yeah, that's going to be there. So Haran, there is one more question. Like, how is it different from KQL and AQL? What will be different? So KQL is Kibana query language. AQL, I'm really not sure. Could you please expand that? Is it?
Yeah, sure. So how it differs is that EQL is completely open source library. So if you can go to the EQL website, you can have like details about EQL. So how it differs is that KQL is written on top of Lucene, right? You will be having like searches and other things. In EQL, you can have advanced event correlation by having joins, pipes, cross correlation, something like that. So it will be more of an advanced type of event correlation. So everything is documented. We will be adopting this type of query language inside Elastic as well. You will be having different options to use. You'll be having KQL, you'll be having EQL. So that helps any searches according to your use case. If you want to have joins, pipes, or and not star, something like that, in your advanced event cross correlation, you can use EQL. If you want to have like auto completion, auto suggestion on top of Lucene, you will have KQL. Yeah.
Great. So one more question from Abhilash. So this one I'll take it, Harun. So is SIM, Watcher, ML, anomaly detection all part of basic license of XPack? So basically, Elastic Stack definitely follows something called free and open initiative. So the stack or all the things that we discussed today, like literally all the things that you have seen, is completely free and open, so that you could simply go and deploy and create this cluster anywhere and everywhere. It's platform agnostic, and it brings you a lot of features that other scenes basically charge you for, not just for data like GBs or even like 100 or 1000 GB or something like that. So the basic, the all the basic features, including like the Watcher, even some of the Watcher features are also like free in your existing SIM or the capabilities. So what is not part of like the free part is like the machine learning solution. So that being said, it adds a lot of value in finding out signal from the noise, and that too I would not differentiate in terms of like say so if you're building it on a cloud service like Elastic Cloud, everything comes as part of your infrastructure plan. And more importantly, unlike other things, we don't charge for the number of events, like or the amount of data that you ingest into the same solution. Like say 1 TB or something like that. Ingest speed is not regulated. Elasticsearch by default at the core is a world's popular open source search engine. It's a really powerful and fast search engine. So you leverage all of that speed with how much amount of data that you want, and you get a free SIM as well. So in the cloud, and everything set up for you and managed for you. So all that you need to do is like you just get started with something like cloud platform. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. I'll also share a link with the trial, so that if you want to get started, you can get started with the to spin up a small cluster. Yeah. So any other questions to me or Harun? Feel free to ask as many as questions, because we really want it to be interactive. We want to do more of these sessions. Even we would definitely look forward to organize a Ask Me Anything session for security solution as well, so that you could definitely ask, come try out these things by yourself, and like come ask us more and more questions.
Yeah, definitely. So I just kept it very, very high level, like introductory to kind of SIM, who is new to the SIM or new to security space, right? As a follow-up session, we can have like a more advanced level of security session, like threat hunting, threat intelligence, more in-depth threat intelligence, machine learning, and other things with the scenario-based demos. Definitely, I would collaborate with community advocates like Aravind to spin up such sessions, right? So it all depends on how closely we are collaborating with the community.
Great. Thank you, Harun. So we would also like to take your feedback and understand if you want anything specific session. Say if you have 10 different sort of log sources, maybe something on public cloud, something from a specific device that is very proprietary to your company or an organization, or a networking device, or you want to build a solution, or you are a partner or somebody who builds security solutions by taking stacks like this. So if you want to focus on specific sort of sessions, we would definitely be happy to do that, but we want to listen from you first. So please let us know, and we would be really, really happy to do all of that. Yeah.
Can we get the slides joined late? Yeah. So Arvind, so like it's your call. Like, are we usually sending slides after the meetup? I mean, I think this is our first phase of virtual meetup, right? Usually we have face-to-face meetup.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, we will send you the slides. That's not a big deal. We'll
okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is one more question from Girish Haran. Say, I'm new to SOC. How to get hands-on experience on SIM tools?
Great question. So definitely, I'm exactly where I started. So I was new to security. I started my career in security. So I exactly where I started. Fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know. Every SIM solutions are closed vendors. So for getting hands-on experience, if it would be good and great if you have your own enterprise level company having SIM and you are working on SIM. But there are few platforms like Elastic who can provide you like open source or basic license type of platform. So you can, as Arvind was mentioning, spin up the community cloud trial. You have a trial based license, ingest your lab data, and you have everything documented with Elasticstack. So ingest your lab data or your own data, start having hands-on experience, and we have various blogs. Start following, reading. Definitely, that will give you take you to the next par within the SOC.
Yeah, so someone has asked me about like, do we have something like Quick Labs, which is like a GCP tool for doing workshops? So I think I bring the long link, but there's a new link that Abhilash has pinned, like training.elastic.co. You could definitely take that link. We are doing at least one training, free training, like at least 1 or 2 weeks. We are rolling out. So there are a bunch of trainings that are currently available, both in search, observability, and security space. So please look at SIEM fundamentals. Everything is like walkthrough on an on-demand base, and everything is free. So please go ahead and try out. And also, like, if there is any delay in the site loading or even the workshop, please bear with us because we are seeing enormous demand across for our training site as well. So sometimes it might be slow, like a bit unresponsive kind of a thing. Yeah. Great. Any other questions?
Do you have a planned release date for 7.7? Great question. The one which you saw in my demo is 7.7. So you have witnessed the 7.7 of machine learning in the queries, 130 rules and other things. It should be soon. Like we are expecting by early next week. So it should be very soon. Yeah.
Yeah, we keep releases pretty fast. So like say 6 weeks cadence, and we do release a lot of features in each of them. So there are a lot of existing features that you could go and see and cover them, because that takes a lot of effort to build the learning practice, etc. So please take a look at that as well. We also have launched one Kibana for Splunk search processing language related tool training as well, so which might be very much relevant if you are Splunk users and you want to learn. I think there are some terminologies that you want to learn in between, so you can go and look at that as well. Okay, one more question. How to get into threat hunting? Do you have any planning for training on it?
What was that? How to get into threat hunting? Do you have any plans for training on it? Yes, we do have threat hunting trainings and other things. It is completely it's not like an open source training. We do have like a focused 5 days training. We acquired a company called Purged. Purged are completely a training platform who has built so much training and threat hunting security based platforms on top of Elasticsearch. So with Purged, we are bringing various threat hunting trainings like private as well as private kind of trainings. Maybe reach out to Arvind or community members who can route you to the training department. But it is definitely not a free or open source training. You can have it like a private organizational training.
So we are going to bring a lot of free training options with respect to threat hunting as well. That's going to come. We already have, I think, a Kibana threat hunting training as well, which I believe is a paid training. I think you could go and check out. That's already there. You would get a lot of material on our docs site and a lot of these places. Yeah. So to get started even with. So we would not discuss cost and everything because it's already there on the training.elastic.co site. Please check in that. Otherwise, you could always drop me or Haran or anyone meetups@elastic.co as a note. We are happy to definitely help you. I have pinged my email ID as well in the chat. So, any more questions? Great. I think.
Perfect. Yeah. Any key differentiator in Elastic SIM compared with any other SIM tool out there? Great question, but again, it will be become like a salesy type of talks. Let's keep it in community way, being a community meetup. Yes, there, as I said before, there would be like pros and cons. Key differentiator would be like MyTier mapping, like in your inbuilt rules. Like we are mapping all your detections on MyTier. Anomal, like a detection engine is the strategy, right? You have dynamic as well as static type of detection. Anomaly using machine learning as well as static rules. So there are various key differentiator, and whatever the features are, the main key differentiator is Elasticsearch, boiling down to the pillar of Elasticsearch, speed and scalability. So let's say you have like a large data in your environment, terabytes and petabytes. How does a SIM platform or a security platform handles it? Elasticsearch speed and scalability is one of the main reasons adopted by various large platforms as a data lake. So these are some of the key differentiator from my point of view. Yeah.
So one of the key differentiators I have to highlight it is, see, we are a free and open SIM, first of all.
Yeah, definitely makes sense.
That
Yeah.
is a very big differentiator. And like I said, there is you can do like a million events per second, or like you can do 800k events per second. So there is no limit on number of events that the deployment can do. It's how much ever you want to scale up the infrastructure, and then you are not paying for the amount of data that you ingest. So you don't need to figure out like, okay, this is an interesting event. This I need to put in, then I will remove these fields. So you don't need to do that slicing and dicing. You can just throw in everything, because we do understand that security, everything is important when you're collecting different log sources. So that is very important thing for us.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the difference between sales guys like me. I mean, pre-sales guys like me and the community guys like Arvind, right? He keeps very neatly with open source. Yeah.
So yeah, so I think we are up with time. So please definitely join us in these sessions in the meetup. We are very happy to assist you and like provide you more content. We are gonna do like Haran saying during with first coming in, there is a lot of security content that's gonna come into this thing. And do remember to sign up for at least one training, so that what happens is you keep getting mails about new trainings as well. So that is an easy way to get started. Even if you don't attend a meetup, you would definitely get information about all of this. Great.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, folks. So really, it was a great interactive session. I liked the Q&A part very much as a whole in the whole session. It was great interactive, great questions. Thank you so much for all the participations. Looking forward to meet you soon in person or in the next e meetup. Thank you.